All right, let's continue on. Let's look at number 3, okay? We've got 2,040 millimeters equals how many meters? Okay, I brought my whiteboard so that we could look at it from there, but look, I'm going from millimeters back to just meters, okay? There's going to be 2,040 millimeters in how many meters? Well, there's 1,000 millimeters in 1 meter. So if I'm going from here to here, I'm actually dividing by 1,000, right? 1,000 millimeters divided by 1,000 is 1, okay? If I were on this one, there's 10 decimeters to make a meter. And I would divide by 10, divide this by 10 to get 1 meter. Okay, so going back to number 3, sorry if that was a little... Okay, we've got 2,040, come on marker, millimeters equals how many meters? Okay, now in our chart I said that we would divide this millimeters by 1,000 to tell us how many meters. So if I divide this by 1,000, then I'll know how many meters. The way I can do that, honestly, is just to move my decimal point over. I don't have to actually, do a whole division problem. If I'm dividing by 1,000, I can take my decimal point and go this way 1, 2, 3 times. My decimal moves right there, so I have 2.04 meters. And that's your answer for number 3. Okay, so if I'm dividing, I'm going to move my decimal point to the left. Let me try that again. Dividing, move decimal to the left. Okay, if I'm multiplying, I move my decimal to the right. Okay, so let's try the next one. Let's look at number 4. I'll keep our little cheat up here so we can remember. We have 9.2 meters, all right? And we are going to convert that to centimeters. Okay, let's take a look at our chart here. Remember, we've got our chart. We're going from meters to centimeters. Okay, so here's our meters. Centimeters are right here. So we're getting smaller. The measurements are getting smaller, which means that more of them will be this way. The size of the unit gets smaller, okay? Just like in here, these are our milliliters. They are tiny measures of units, so we're getting smaller as we go this way. So our centimeters are smaller, okay? And we know that centi means 100. The other way we can tell how many that we're going to multiply by, because we're going this way, we're going from meters to centimeters. So we're going to the we're multiplying, so we're going to move our decimal to the right. We'll get there. I lost my train of thought. This is harder to teach than I thought, and it's weird in a video because I can't like stop and rewind, and I don't know. We're just getting through this day together. Most of my other videos I think have gone really well and run really smoothly. Today, not so much. And you know what? It is what it is. So thank you for being patient with me. Yeah, usually these run a lot better. I don't know what my deal is today, but that's all right. Just stick with me. We'll get through this, I promise. Okay, so we're on number 4, 9.2 meters. How many centimeters? Okay, so our meters are here, our centimeters are over here. Okay. There's more centimeters. In fact, there's 100 centimeters in 1 meter. Well, I have 9.2 meters. So if I times that by 100, then I'll have how many centimeters I need. So we're going to take 9.2. We're going to times it by 100. Well, 100 has 2 zeros. Okay, so I could do 9.2 times 100. I could do that, right? Or I know I can just move my decimal point. And I can move it however many zeros there are. That's how many times I'm going to move my decimal. Now I'm multiplying by 100, which means that my numbers are going to get larger, so my decimal needs to go to the right. And that's right here. If we're multiplying, we move the decimal to the right. So I'm going to start right here. I'm going to move it to the right 2 times. Now, yes, I am where that M is, but remember if we have a blank spot, and we learned that before, we put in a 0. So we're going to do 920 centimeters. So if I have 9.2 meters, there's going to be 920 centimeters in that. Those are equal. Okay? Well, let's keep going because I feel like we're still not there. Let's do number 5. We've got 877 centimeters equals how many meters? Okay. Now the last one that we did, we went on number 4, we went from meters to centimeters. This time we're doing the opposite. We're going from centimeters to meters, okay? Remember that there's 100 centimeters in 1 meter, okay? So if I have 877 centimeters, how many meters do I have? Well, on our chart, we're going from centimeters to meters, which means I'm going from centimeters over here on the right-hand side, back left to meters, okay? So I'm actually going to be dividing, okay? We're going that way on our chart, and there's 100 centimeters in a meter, so I need to divide by 100. So here, right here, I have 877. If I divide that by 100, then that will tell me how many meters. Now I can set up I can do 877 divided by 100. I can do that, or I can just move my decimal point. Okay, so say, our invisible decimal point that's always there at the end, we're going to move that. If I'm dividing by 100, then we're going to go to the left, right? Dividing, move the decimal to the left. So we're going to go, and how many times are we going to move it? Well, 100 has 2 zeros, so it means we're going to move it 2 times, right? We're going to go from 100 to 1. We're moving that decimal over. So we're going to start right here. We're going to go over 1, 2, right there like that. So 8.77 meters. That's our answer for number 5. Okay, I hope we're getting there. Let's try another one together. Okay, number 6, we've got 31 millimeters is how many meters? Okay, millimeters are tiny. Millimeters are really small. Okay, so there's going to be way more millimeters than meters. That was not the right way to say that, but let's see what we can do here. Okay, so we're going from millimeters to meters. Now look back at your chart on page S1. Okay, find millimeters. It's on the very right-hand side. It's a purple one. Okay. There's 1,000 millimeters millimeters in 1 meter. Okay, and I'm going from the left, I'm going from the right to the left. See, I'm going back from, I can't hold all this at once. I'm going back from millimeters and I'm converting it to meters, right? Okay, so I'm starting here and I'm going this way. Because I'm going this way on my chart, I am dividing. I'm dividing, okay? So now let's look back at what we've got here. If I'm dividing, I'm going to move my decimal to the left, okay? And we know that there's 1,000 millimeters in a meter, so we're going to divide by 1,000. 1,000, okay? 1,000 has 3 zeros. So that means I'm going to take my little invisible decimal point, and I'm going, if I'm dividing, I'm moving to the left, so I'm going to go back this way, and I have to do it 3 times. 1, 2, 3, because there's 3 zeros. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. And there's my decimal point, and if I have a blank, I put a 0. So my answer is, in 31 millimeters, there is 31 thousandths of a meter. Okie dokie.